The response came swiftly, empathetically, overwhelmingly. The San Antonio Spurs, after the disappointment of letting Game 1 slip away at home, the Spurs answered. Welcome you to the Hardwood Report. I'm Ryder Bullock. Tonight was a complete dismantling of the Minnesota Timberwolves by the San Antonio Spurs, who rolled to a 135-95 victory to even this Western Conference semifinal series at 1 game apiece. From the opening minute, San Antonio played with the urgency of a team that understood the stakes. By halftime, they led by 24. By the third quarter, it was a complete disarray, and the game had long since turned into an exhibition of dominance, and it started with defense. Minnesota never found rhythm offensively. The Timberwolves were held under 100 points, struggled to generate clean perimeter looks, and never recovered from a brutal first half in which they scored only 35 points. Julius Randle led Minnesota with 12 points, while Anthony Edwards, so electric in Game 1, was largely neutralized by San Antonio's length, pressure, and disciplined help defense. But this night belonged to the Spurs' young core. Stephon Castle delivered perhaps the most impressive playoff performance of his young career. 21 points, relentless aggression, attacking the rim, and a perfect composure at the free throw line, going 9 for 9. Victor Wembanyama once again doing Victor Wembanyama things. He controlled every inch of the floor, finishing with 15 rebounds while anchoring the defense and altering the entire geometry of the game. And what stood out most about San Antonio was the balance. Dylan Harper orchestrating the offense beautifully with 5 assists. The Spurs pushed tempo, controlled the glass, and turned defense into easy transition opportunities all night long. There was no panic after Game 1, no overreaction, just a young team adjusting, responding, and reminding everyone why they won 62 games this season. For Minnesota, this becomes the kind of playoff loss coaches immediately chart a race from memory. Sometimes in a long postseason, one game simply gets away from you. The Timberwolves already accomplished their primary mission by stealing home court in San Antonio, but the concern tonight is not merely the loss. It is how thoroughly they were overwhelmed physically, defensively, and emotionally. The series now shifts north, tied at 1 game apiece, and suddenly the pressure changes sides because after 2 games in Texas, the Spurs have rediscovered their confidence, their pace, and perhaps most importantly, their belief that this matchup is firmly within their control. Take a look at the graphic one more time. Spurs win at 133-95. Stephon Castle, 21 points. Victor Wembanyama with 15 rebounds. And Dylan Harper with 5 assists. Tonight in Madison Square Garden, the score told only part of the story because after the blowout in Game 1, this series needed tension. It needed resistance. And for nearly 48 minutes, the Philadelphia 76ers gave the New York Knicks everything they could handle. 25 lead changes, 14 ties, every possession feeling heavier than the last. And when the game finally reached winning time, the Knicks turned to the player who has made this postseason feel increasingly familiar to his city, Jalen Brunson. Brunson scored 26 points, but more importantly, he controlled the emotional rhythm of the game late. With the score tied in the final minutes, he calmly found his spots, knocked down the tie-breaking basket with just over 5 minutes remaining, then delivered another jumper moments later. That gave New York breathing room for good. It wasn't flashy. It wasn't surgical. It was the kind of performance that travels deep into May. And that's what separates these Knicks right now. In a game where nothing came easy, they never looked rushed. And how about the Knicks stepping up, right? OG Anunoby added 24 points before exiting late. Karl Anthony Towns delivered another complete performance with 20 points, 10 rebounds, and 7 assists. And Mikal Bridges once again impacted both ends of the floor, including the defensive effort that helped slow Tyrese Maxey after halftime. Because for a while, Maxey looked ready to steal this game himself. After struggling in the opener, Maxey exploded early tonight, scoring 19 first-half points and repeatedly attacking the Knicks in transition and off the dribble. Without Joel Embiid, who was ruled out before the game with hip and ankle soreness, Philadelphia needed someone to create offense and belief. Maxey did both. Paul George scored 19. Kelly Oubre Jr. added 19 more. Rookie VJ Edge contributed 17. And despite missing Joel Embiid, the MVP, or former MVP, the Sixers had the Knicks on the ropes deep into the fourth quarter. In fact, Philadelphia led 99-96 after an Oubre three-pointer with under 7 minutes to play. Then the game changed. Josh Hart, appearing to battle through a painful hand, thumb, wrist injury suffered early in the second half. He answered immediately with a massive three-pointer that tied the game and shifted the building back toward New York. From there, Brunson took over. The Knicks' defense tightened, and Philadelphia's offense suddenly stalled at the worst possible time. Nick Nurse said afterwards that the Sixers generated quality looks late, and he's probably right, but playoff basketball often comes down to whether good shots become made shots. Tonight they didn't, and now the pressure changes zip codes. The series heads to Philadelphia, with the Knicks holding a 2-0 advantage and looking increasingly comfortable in the role of Eastern Conference contender. The Sixers, meanwhile, are once again searching for answers surrounding Embiid's health and whether they can realistically survive this matchup without him at full strength. The margin between these teams tonight was razor thin, but in the postseason, thin margins become defining moments. And right now, the Knicks are winning all of them. And what a great game it was. And the Knicks did survive a thriller. They do take a 2-0 lead. Final score, 108-102. How about Jalen Brunson, 26 points. Karl Anthony Towns, 20 points, 10 rebounds. And I love this stat, 25 lead changes, most in an NBA playoff game in 11 years. We will have Game 3 for you on Friday night. Well, tomorrow, Hardwood Report begins at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time, and Game 1 of the doubleheader takes us to Detroit, where the noise will start long before tip-off, because for the first time in nearly 2 decades, playoff basketball in the Motor City feels less like nostalgia and more like a rival. The Detroit Pistons didn't just survive the first round, they announced themselves. They erased a 3-1 deficit against Orlando, won a Game 7 that changed the perception of the franchise, and then opened the second round by taking Game 1 from Cleveland with the kind of composure that usually belongs to veteran contenders. Now comes the hard part, expectation. The Pistons enter Game 2 with a 1-0 series lead as they look to take control of this series. There you see the line as we make this bigger for you. 3.5 is the line. Detroit coming in 60 wins, 22 losses. The Cavaliers 52 and 30. Tip-off set for tomorrow night. The Pistons enter Game 2 with a 1-0 series lead and with something even more dangerous, belief. Cade Cunningham continues to look like one of the defining young stars of this postseason, scoring 23 points in the opener while controlling tempo, creating transition opportunities, and forcing Cleveland's defense into constant decisions. Detroit wants this series played fast, physical, and emotional. Few teams in this league generate energy in transition the way they do, and inside Little Caesars Arena, that style becomes contagious. But this matchup still revolves around a question Cleveland hasn't fully answered yet. Can the Cavaliers consistently handle Detroit's athleticism over 48 minutes? Can they? We shall see, because they have not answered that. They surely didn't answer it last night, or 2 nights ago, in game 1. They did not. Because in game 1, there were stretches where the Pistons simply looked quicker to loose balls and stronger at the rim and more aggressive defensively. Usher Thompson's versatility continues to disrupt opposing offenses, and Detroit's length on the perimeter forced Cleveland into difficult possessions late in the game. Still, though, the Cavaliers are far too talented for panic. Donovan Mitchell scored 23 in the opener, but Cleveland needs more efficiency around him if they're going to even this series before heading home. And perhaps the most intriguing storyline entering Game 2 is the presence of James Harden, the veteran brought in to stabilize Cleveland offensively during moments exactly like this. The Cavaliers don't necessarily need Harden to dominate. They need him to organize, settle possessions, and prevent the game from drifting into the kind of chaos Detroit prefers. That's the balance attack tomorrow night. Detroit wants speed. Cleveland wants structure. Detroit wants emotion. Cleveland wants execution. And the pressure, interesting enough, may already be shifting toward the Cavaliers, because you lose game 2 and suddenly Cleveland heads home down 0-2 against a Pistons team that suddenly looks fearless. Win it, and the series rests entirely. That's what makes Game 2s so fascinating in the NBA playoffs. They reveal whether Game 1 was a surprise or a warning. Tomorrow night, we may find out which one this was. We also have the Lakers taking on the Thunder. Game 2 at the Paycom Center, where the defending champions try to try to take a 2-0 series lead. They would probably knock them off. I don't give the Lakers much chance in this series, but that's beside the point. Oklahoma City, though, trying to go up 2-0 against the Los Angeles Lakers, and all eyes will be on the reigning MVP of Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, as his team hosts the Los Angeles Lakers in the Western Conference second round with a 1-0 lead in the series. The Thunder won their last matchup 108-90 on Wednesday, led by 24 points from Chet Holmgren. LeBron James led the Lakers with 27. The Thunder are 41-11 in Western Conference games. Oklahoma City ranks 5th in the Western Conference in rebounding with 44.1 rebounds. Holmgren leads the Thunder with 8.9 boards. The Lakers are 33-19 in Western Conference play. The Los Angeles Lakers score 116.3 points and has outscored opponents by 1.7 points per game. The Thunder score 119 points per game, 4.4 more points than the 114.6 the Lakers give up. The Lakers average 11.8 made three-pointers per game this season, 2.5 fewer made shots on average than the 14.3 per game the Thunder allow. Top performers, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is averaging 31.1 points and 6.6 assists for the Thunder. LeBron James scoring 20.9 points per game and averaging 6.1 rebounds for the Lakers. In their last 10, the Thunder are 8-2. The Lakers are 7-3. The Lakers average 104.8 points. That's compared to the Thunder's more 120.6 points, 43.8 rebounds, 28.8 assists. They lead both. The Lakers only have 26.6 assists, 9.6 steals, and 5.6 blocks. That is more than the Thunder, who only have 5.5 blocks per game, while shooting 49.6% from the field. The Lakers shoot 49.4%. Jalen Williams is listed as out. Thomas Sabor also out for the Thunder, hamstring and knee in that order. The Lakers, no Luka Doncic, out with the hamstring injury. Jared Vanderbilt day to day. And as we bring in this There it is. The Lakers are searching indeed for answers, and I think this is the big story. Luka Doncic out. Josh Charama saying that he's out for 4 more weeks. Brian Windhurst, also at ESPN, saying it as well. So out for 4 more weeks. How long can LeBron James, at 41 years of age, lead this team against a more younger and, in my opinion, a more talented team with the reigning MVP, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander? But if anybody can do it, it is LeBron James. And a great... Going to be a great game, no doubt about it. Tomorrow, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 6:30 p.m. Pacific. Oklahoma City leads it 1-0. So that will do it for us here on the postgame show. Tomorrow, though, we have the doubleheader. Pistons and the Cavs, as well as the Lakers and the Thunder. The Hardwood Report coming your way live tomorrow. You don't want to miss it. We will be breaking down both of those games. Can the Pistons make it to the Eastern Conference Finals? They'll be halfway there if they can beat the Cavaliers. Tip-off 7 p.m. Eastern. Then, of course, 9:30 Lakers Thunder. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, 31.1 points per game, trying to take on the ageless wonder of LeBron James, who at 41 years old, 20.9 points per game, 6.1 rebounds, 7.2 assists. What can't he do? Can he tie this series and win another NBA championship? Wouldn't that be something? 9:30 p.m. tip-off time. Hardwood Report, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 3:30 Pacific. Don't want to miss it. That will do it. We will see